All right, all right. We are back in beautiful Belmont, New Jersey, my favorite place, and we have a very special guest on Grit Won't Quit today. We have Jennifer. Jennifer, good morning. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm so great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on. So we got introduced indirectly, but through people we both know very well.
Yes.
So tell us the story.
Well, about 2 weeks ago, I was in Costco. Somewhere.
Good place to go.
Always.
A lot of people like it.
And you never know who you're going to run into.
No, never.
And I ran into two friends, actually two of my friends, but really my brother's friends. Actually trained their daughters to do their sport. And I was telling them about, they were asking what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And I was telling them about my new book coming out. And I immediately...
We'll get into that later.
Yes, yeah. I immediately saw my friend's face light up. She was like about to tell me something, and she's like, "You need to talk to my friend." And I said, "Okay." And by the time I got home from Costco, she had sent me your information.
You're probably her third or fourth friend that's been on the podcast. We had Stacy from the travel agency come on. We've had Coach Nick come on, who's Haley's a basketball coach. And I feel like along the way somebody else has come on. That's a friend of Lisa's. Lisa is a huge advocate and fan of Wingman and Grit Won't Quit.
Oh, she's great.
She's great.
Yeah, so that's how I ended up here with you today.
So you filled out the form, and before long, Jen is booking you to get on the show.
Yeah, I was really excited because I love what the podcast represents. It's true nature of the entrepreneurial journey.
The entrepreneurial journey is not for the faint of heart. It's not for the weak. It's not for people that are looking to just do the bare minimum. I think that that's kind of how this kind of evolved was in telling people stories. Entrepreneurship is hard. It's hard.
Absolutely.
There's no it's no easy formula. It's not things change on you. Technology changes, employees change, laws change, and you have to react and you have to do things quickly. And, I think it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't know that I want it any other way.
I couldn't agree with you more. And I think the longer you're in it and you have to know your why. Mm-hmm. Why you're doing this, right?
And your why can change from time to time.
It has. My why has changed. But what I realized is I can't give up because there's that voice in our head, right? Mm-hmm. The voice, even though everything is going, I call it living sideways, right? When everything is going wrong and you just want to curl under your covers, there's that voice in your head that says, just today, get up today and do the work.
Yep. I think it's hard for, at the beginning it's very hard and you're like, why am I doing this? But then as time goes on, you're right. Like, you can't stop doing it. It's just a matter of modifying how you do it because otherwise you could drive yourself crazy. Now, but you do some teaching and coaching, so you're kind of on top of this. Like, you kind of have this problem under control, it sounds like.
Well, I think there's a couple things that I learned. Number one, time is very valuable. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to spend time on things that are hard for me, like technology. Mm-hmm. So I hired somebody.
Sure.
And I was like, this is amazing.
Too bad I didn't know you then.
Too bad, right?
All right.
And when
Why didn't Lisa introduce me to you?
This is our opportunity.
All right. Lisa, thanks.
Thank you, Lisa. Thanks, but no thanks. No, I'm just kidding. And I think when you realize what you're good at and what you're not that great at, and you mm-hmm. make a decision, and it's not easy, right? There's times where I don't pay myself because I'm paying the people on my team,
sure.
But that's allowing me to come here. That's allowing me to write my book. That's allowing me to create the courses that I am, to run the events that I'm doing. And I think just trusting the process and knowing that it's already here, right? There's this idea that I want what's over there. And when we keep searching for what's over there, we're not living life. Mm-hmm. But if we can live in this moment and be proud of this moment while we're on the journey of what's next, I think that's the biggest takeaway and has kept me grounded in my work, is knowing that I'm always going to want something more. Mm-hmm. Because that voice is never going to stop. We've been training it now.
I always say the end zone always changes. The goal line always changes. But again, 15 years ago, I know when I first started, I said, oh, I could do this better than, I worked for corporate America, and I said, I could do it better than I'm doing it here. I could impact more people, and I could do more things, and I could work faster and smarter. And my first goal was just to replace my paycheck, right?
Yes.
I had to make enough so I could still pay the mortgage.
Yep.
I could still live, and that was replacing the paycheck. Then it was, all right, well, now I have a little team. Then it was, oh, we're going to go buy a building. And then it was, we're going to get a second location. So the goal line is always changing. Like, I go back to when I first started. I never thought I'd be here. But then on the other side is, I think you can do more when you're an entrepreneur, when you're doing this, because, like, we have our own foundation now. If I was working in corporate America, I wouldn't have a foundation where I can donate toys and food to the less fortunate. I can do a podcast where I can do this. So, like, there's other things that have happened along the way that I don't think we could have done if I stayed in corporate America. And and again, I think that's how the goal line always changes.
I love that share, because I think what people get confused or lost is like, I'm just going to leave my 9 to 5 and start the business.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Oh, no.
When I first did it, I was doing insurance, and I was also personal training, and I remember working insurance and teaching almost 17 classes a week.
Wow.
Just to start to make that transition. And then I worked less insurance, I took on more clients, and then it was the scary thing of like, okay, I'm going to leave my steady paycheck to step into the unknown where it's all me.
Yeah, it's crazy. You got to be a little bit cuckoo for cocoa there, because and I've said it on the podcast, you got to have a few screws loose if you're an entrepreneur. Like, you had a steady paycheck. Life was good.
It was good.
And at 5 o'clock, you could shut off. You didn't have to worry about what was going on at 7 or 9 or whenever. No. And you didn't have to worry about technology and things you didn't know about, and insurances, and all these other things that, payroll taxes and all these other things that you have to learn, the Form 940, like, you didn't know those things, nor did you care about them.
No.
And I think everybody says, oh, I want to own a business, it's so easy. Oh, you just do this, you just open your doors. They have no clue.
No. You can take off anytime you want.
Yeah, but
like,
never.
I know.
You can take off any day you want to take off, but you can't. Or you come back to 4,000 emails, and you're like, why did I go away for a weekend? This wasn't worth it, right?
I think, too, I don't know about you, but my brain does not shut
Mine either.
down. And so there's all these ideas, right, that you want to put into the world, and I think that's the drive, right?
Yeah. But again, I think we're wired, again, entrepreneurs are wired differently in the sense that they are always thinking about something. Even when you're not thinking about it, you're thinking about it. Like, it's on your mind. It's there. It's like, but I think that's the difference between, especially business owners and non-business owners, is that this is something always going on. You always think about how to make the process better. How to do this. What about if I did this? What does it look like if this is the, I always am looking at, all these kind of different metrics. I'm driven by just how to be more efficient, how to do things better, what did I say yesterday in that call that could have been said better?
Right. Well, we're always wanting to improve.
I wanted to improve. So again, part of the problem is we just want to improve.
Yeah.
So it's not always that we want to work harder. It's the improvement. But I also I want to lead a better team. I want to lead a better company. I want my clients to be happier. Happy clients is like,
That's the greatest reward. I'm a mind and body coach, and for me, watching the client totally change their life and step into their greatest season of their life is the most rewarding thing. So like you said, it's like, how do I do that better? How do I reach and impact more people?
Yeah, that's the hard. And again, then you reach an impact, but then you have to watch, like, as you grow, because we at one point in time I said we have to get account managers because I can't get back to people fast enough. Again, I'm talking to you right now. I'm sure if we look at my
your phone, it's going off.
There's 15 texts in there. And again, the reason I hired account managers was because I felt bad having to say to a customer, I'll call you at 6 o'clock tonight, like after my last meeting. I didn't think that was fair for them.
Right.
So, I incurred more cost into the business to have people to be able to facilitate. But then they say, oh, I'll just wait for Tom. And then you're like, wait a second, paying somebody, and I've got to make that call at 6, and I'll wait for Tom. But then you have to coach the clients into saying it's all right to talk to so and so. They can help you. And I kind of, when I can, I make a joke about it in a light way of like, your problem could have been solved like 4 hours ago. Like, let's not wait. Like, let's just utilize the process. And again, it's my job to coach these employees to make sure that they are educated and can answer those questions.
Right, that they're this you, but in their...
Yeah. They might not be as funny.
Right.
Potentially not as good looking. But other than that, yeah, I get it. Totally. So now let's kind of go into your coaching, because again, you're helping people in 3 different ways.
Yeah, I basically, I mean, I've even trained children. So I trained, I mean, that's how I met Lisa and, well, I've trained their kids, but I coach to the physical body through strength training, and then I coach to the mental body, because a lot of people, I didn't know, the mind is a muscle, and it can be trained just as the physical body. So those racing thoughts, those negative thoughts, we can retrain those thoughts. You know what's funny is I'm a optimist through and through. If you know me, there's bad things that happen, but I believe every day when you go to sleep, tomorrow you start over, and I wake, you could ask my wife, I wake up happy every day. I'm like, let's go, let's do it. Like, I'm not I gotta stay in bed today. I'm not the guy who waits for an alarm. I am the alarm. So, but I've said to my wife, it's all about how you take on every action. Everything's, not everything's gonna be pleasant. There's gonna be confrontation, there's gonna be issues, but I think it's how you react to it. 100%.
And if you react to it and go, all right, this is how it happened, and here's the outcome, and here's where we're going to go from here. And I feel that us in our heads can control that. We can. There's tools to help people who feel like they can't control it, and that's what I get to see in my clients. I get to help them retrain their brains to interpret life in a different way that they're not used to interpreting. And when you do that, you're living a better life. Totally. And you're feeling better. You're happier. Everybody should be happy. Like, I hate to hear about people that take their lives, or people that have people have mental illness, and that's their genetic makeup. But like, I hate the idea of people like not being able to see past it and see that it can get better. I can't agree with you more, and that's what I help people. I help women over 50. I help them rewrite their story, because what happens when people are sad, they're telling the same story over and over in their head. And also, no one wants to hear that story. Nobody wants to hear it. No, and then they lose friends, because no one wants to hear that. I don't want to hear the sad story. I hate when people tell me about ailments and illnesses. I kind of tune out. Like, it's not for me. I'm a happy guy. I want to talk about fun stuff. But it's true. I don't even, friends and family know you don't talk to me about that, because you keep it real then. If you're telling me the story of your arm hurting or what happened to you, you're keeping that alive. The brain does not know if it happened today or if it happened 10 years ago. And that's what I help people. This is the best, Andrew, this might be the best podcast we've ever had. Someone that agrees with my crazy thoughts that, you can always be happy. You can. And it's true. It's scientifically proven. Did you know I was scientifically proven, Andrew? Come on, man. He's like, yes. I was like, come on. Add that to my resume today. There you go. I love this. Are you familiar with Dr. Joe Dispenza? No, but I'm going to check. You have to check his work out. I've studied under him. He is an amazing work. So he takes yoga philosophies and he science bases it. He has shown over and over with brain scans that we can heal our body by just our thoughts. He's a genius. You have to definitely look into him. I think you'll appreciate, because your craziness is not crazy. It's backed by science. All right, even better. Yeah. So, backed by science. Backed by science. I love this. So now, how do you really, let's dig into how you help somebody. I help someone, people come to me either for mental or their physical bodies. They're wanting to get help. So I have different programs. I have programs where I train people physically, and then I have where I train them mentally. And let's talk about the mental. The physical, I feel like a lot of people know. You hire a trainer. Yeah. I don't want to commoditize it, but they hire a trainer. They want to look better. They want to feel better. They want to lose 20 pounds. You're in great shape. You take care of them. Yes. All right. I love the mind stuff. That's what I want to talk about, the mind stuff. So I actually put together a weekly group where I coach every Wednesday night live. And I touch on, there's 7 areas of life. There's the physical, the mental, the emotional, the nutrition, communities, hydration, and sleep. And so I help them interrupt their thoughts.
So if we're talking about the mental things, I start with the perfect day, right? Describe what your perfect day is, because I think when people wake up, they don't know what they want in life, and that's a big energy leak. So if you can describe your perfect day, I can help you get to your perfect day. It's all about just changing your habits and routines, and I teach that, because here's the crazy thing. If you want to talk about thoughts, we think 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day.
Oh.
Okay, wait, you ready for this? This is the crazier part. 90% of those thoughts are the same as yesterday.
It's only 10% new thoughts.
Yes. So what do you think is happening? We are bringing yesterday into today, and to tomorrow. So I help people break that pattern.
I have a referral for you already.
Okay, great.
I'm so excited for you. I have 2 referrals for you already.
Awesome. That's awesome.
I wasn't planning, and normally I don't give out referrals on the podcast, but I just know 2 people that could really definitely want to talk to you.
Yeah, and because I was stuck in the old story. And even so, it's interesting, right? Because I will get stuck in a story. Oh, I'm sorry.
Very popular.
I get stuck in a story, right? And even in business, and I'm like, oh no. And I'll talk to myself. I'm like, Jen, I can't believe you are telling that same story, but it's a pattern interrupt. And that's what I teach my clients. And the more patterns we interrupt, the more free we give ourselves, and the more stories we release from the body. And here's the thing, our stories get stuck in our body. They're called samskars. They're ingrained in us. And that's where pain comes from. So if you see people who have a lot of pain, I got back pain, and their stories are stuck in their body. Wow. So I help them get unstuck in their stories. And then so what that does is it frees out them emotionally, energetically, and physically. And that's where Dr. Joe's work comes in, because he's teaching, when you learn to interrupt the pattern, you can write a new story. And at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's just about writing a new story.
That's awesome. And a lot of people fall to things like alcohol and drugs and things like that, whereas they really just need to rewrite the story.
Yeah, because they want to numb it.
Yeah.
And I have 2 clients. And escapism. I'm actually really happy for these 2 clients. They were 2 clients that suffered depression and were on antidepressant medicines, and one of them's already off her medicine, and the other one is weaning off with a doctor's help for August. And to me, that is like the biggest gift.
That's great.
Isn't that amazing?
But the only thing is, people have to realize that they need you.
Yes.
They have to come to
They have to be at that point where they're just tired of feeling sick and tired. And when they're there and they're willing to do what I ask, which here's the crazy thing, it literally takes less than 5 minutes. Everything I ask of my clients is less than 5 minutes.
It's all things you've done yourself, so it's not like you're asking them to do something you wouldn't put yourself in front of doing.
Sometimes it's just as simply as just noticing your negative thoughts throughout the day, write them down, and we're going to talk about them the next time. It's these easy, my whole thing is, how do we make it so easy that it's like silly not to do it?
Yep.
And that's what I do. That's why it's like my habit hacks, they're under 5 minutes a day. You do 5 minutes a day, your life is going to change. Honestly, that's how I wrote the book. I only did it in 5 minutes a day. That's all I started.
That's all you did on the book, 5 minutes a day?
5 minutes a day. I didn't know how to write. I would walk around my pool table and I'd say, just sit down. And I would sit down and put a timer, and I was like, all right, you just got to do 5 minutes. And I would put the timer on and I'd write for 5 minutes, and I'd be like, oh, thank goodness, that's over.
I'm done with today.
I'm done with today.
We're on to tomorrow.
But here's the thing. It just has to be consistent. People just have to do the ask every day with consistency till it becomes a habit.
Consistency is key.
It's key.
And do you believe in that 21 days to form a habit, or?
It depends. So I've been studying habits, and it can take anywhere from 21 days, and they're saying up to almost a year, 2 years.
Wow.
Depending on the habit. I've seen people break habits in a month. I've seen people take them almost a year to break a habit, depending on the habit and the story you have with the habit. If it's a strong story, I had somebody who was a drinker, and it took him quite a while to give up drinking, and he's been sober for well over a year now.
More people need to know about you.
Thank you.
This is great. This one's makes you think.
Yeah, I'm definitely, and that's what I want people to do. I want them to think, because if you're thinking, you're creating new thoughts, and new thoughts create new neurons. Because what happens is when we think those old thoughts, that creates a feeling in our body, and the bond gets stronger. But when I have you think the thought and I have you interrupt the thought, the bond starts to break. And so when I teach kids this stuff, I call it stomping ants. You take the thought, you're like, oh, the negative thought. You actually take it out, throw it on the ground, and you stomp on it. So they had the thought, but now they're interrupting the pattern. So the emotion is not staying in their body. And that's what I teach kids. Well, when I was teaching kids, but now teaching the adults.
Yep. Who do you like better? Which group do you like teaching better, the kids or the adults?
I love teaching all of them, to be honest. But what I'm finding is I love empowering women, because what I'm seeing, and I have a lot of 70-year-old clients, which I find fascinating because I also love studying aging process, because I want people to age with confidence, strength, and more energy. And what I'm finding is at a certain age, women get to the point that they start to lose their confidence, or some of them don't even have the confidence. So I teach them the confidence through the training, and once that we can get them confident, then it's like they unleash this unstoppable mindset. I have women in their 70s and 80s that are living on their own, and I'm like, that is a beautiful gift. That they can do that, and that's what I want to empower that women. And plus, I want to show my nieces what's possible. I want them to see, like, you can be strong. There's nothing in life that you cannot do or try, and that's what my motto is: aging with confidence.
Yep. I think there's nothing that women can't do.
No, me too.
You know, even at Wingman, I mean, there's probably more women that work for Wingman than men. And we have our chief operating officer is a woman. Our branding manager is a woman. Like, we have director of developments, is our development team, which is a male-dominated world. Our development team is run by a woman, and her team is all women. So, like, we have developers that are men, but the team that's running the development crew that we develop hundreds of sites a year with is run by a very strong woman.
Yeah, I love that, and I love what that represents, because when you're feeling confident, you're feeling your best, and when you're best, you're going to do better for everybody. And at the end of the day, I'm like, you want to be around happy people. So if they're not happy, I'm going to train them and show them how they can be happy.
Everybody should be happy. You should be coaching for businesses.
I do. Well, I am. That's in the pipelines.
Okay.
I'm like you. There's so many things that
it's on the list.
It's on the list. I want to get. It's funny because I have the book. I have one book coming out, and I have two in the lineup that I want to write.
Well, now you just know it's 5 minutes a day.
It's 5 minutes a day.
Simple.
It's so simple. 5 minutes, 5 years.
Let's talk about the book. We talked about how that you wrote the book in 5 minutes. But so talk about when is it coming out? The name of the book. What the book's about.
So the name of the book is called H3O. It's Hacks for Health and Happiness, One Habit at a Time. And basically, what is it going
to be on Amazon?
It's going to be everywhere. It should
when it comes out, tell me, because I want to be one of the first people to buy it.
I will definitely tell you. It should be out in the fall.
Okay, cool.
It's an owner's manual for living your best life. There are simple habit hacks in there. I start from defining your perfect day. I talk about nutrition. I talk about mindset. I talk about visualization, law of attraction, the importance of sleep, nutrition. If you literally did one thing in the book and that is it, your life is going to change. But there's multiple goodies in the book.
Andrew, we're getting the book.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to buy 20 copies, and I'm going to give everybody a copy for the holidays.
Oh, that'd be amazing. I'm really excited. The whole book has been a manifesting journey of itself. Because like I said, when I sat down, I had no idea. I was so busy with my personal training, and people were like, well, you should write your concepts down. I didn't even know where to start. And then I started writing, and then it was like, one of my clients, she's like, I like to write. I said, oh, can you help me? And we went on a year-long journey of going back and forth with the book. And then another client said she likes to write. I was like, oh, great. Can you look at this for me? And then I got to the point, I'm like, I actually need a publisher. Like, I need an editor. And another friend had just published a book, and I became the editor's very last client that year, and she took me on, and it's just been a journey since then.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's been an incredible journey so far.
That's great. Jenna, make a note when you watch this podcast. We're going to buy books for everybody for the holidays. And that's great. So what are the next books going to be about?
The next book is going to be called Kringle's Adventures. My dog, he's a rescue, and
I'd expect nothing less than that you had a rescue.
I actually have two. But Kringle is such a smart dog. When he was a puppy, he would literally open the pantry, take all the stimulants out, eat them. I mean, he would talk back to you. I had to wrestle him. My client said if he went to anybody else, they would give him back because he was so smart, like one of those smart kids who gets in trouble in school.
Yeah.
And so what I would do in my gym is I was like, I train people. Let me just train my dog like I train people. And I literally did that. So he had a schedule too. He ate good foods. We went on walks. When I would train people, they would be doing a set. I'd say, Kringle, sit and stay. And I put a treat there and he would stay for the whole set while the person did it. And I said, okay, good boy. Because I had to drain, his mind. I had to drain his mind. I had to discipline his mind. And I did it over and over and over again. And I want the book to be about how to live a good life for kids through the eyes of Kringle.
All right.
And so that's what my next book's going to be about.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
Thank you.
So this is an inspiring podcast today. We talked about all the good things of the world and how easy it is. Now, has there been any struggles and hustles in the business itself and doing all the stuff that you do?
Yes. Actually, last year was one of the hardest years of my business because it was when I decided to really go forth in the book and start to change the look of my company because I was really not just a personal training. I was stronger in the personal training. I didn't offer the other skills. And when I started to enroll in business school and started to make real shifts in my life, I'm sure you can relate. People around you started making comments.
Can't listen to them.
Well, now I know that. Now I know there's one voice that we listen to, the voice in our head.
But I had somebody on a few weeks back. It was the Door Kings. Shout out to those guys. They're hustling. They're getting started. They're 6 months in.
Wow.
But Mike was saying when he was on. He said, he'd invested in real estate and people were like talking against it because it was, it was when the market changed in, the 2008, 2009. And he went to people that weren't entrepreneurs to get advice.
Yes.
But if you get advice, if you get advice about expanding your business from people that aren't entrepreneurs or haven't paved the way,
right,
they're going to give you negative advice because they don't know.
They don't know. And that was the biggest lesson when I realized, like, where am I getting my information?
Again, you don't call the local deli for financial advice.
Exactly.
You don't call, you call people that are professionals in that business. So again, in that regard, if you're not talking to people that are in the business of expansion, in the business of starting an additional brand or an add-on line of work, they're not going to know.
They're not going to know.
And they're going to be pessimistic, and they're going to say, "Are you sure, Jen? Are you sure you want to do this? Is this the right move for you? You have this, or you have that. Like, is that where you want to go?" But meanwhile, if you talk to people that have expanded their businesses, they would tell you you're on the right track.
Exactly. I say, and I always tell people when they're making change, because this is one thing I know. I was making major changes in my business and also my personal life. And when you make changes, 3 people show up, right? The person who's like, "Hey, Tom, I like what you're doing. Tell me more. I want to do what you're doing."
Sure.
And then there's the person who's like, "Hey, what you're doing is really cool, but not for me."
Yeah.
And then there's the third person who's like, "What the hell are you doing? Have you lost your mind?" And that was my family.
Yep.
So that made it was like, and my mother-in-law was sick. There was just a lot of internal struggles, and it was a moment where I felt alone. And it was like, I'm just going to go back to working for somebody because this is just too hard.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, I walked the Manasquan Reservoir. Have you ever walked there?
Yeah.
It's so nice. I took my 2 dogs, and there was a butterfly on the ground, and I love butterflies. They remind me of my grandmother. And I picked the butterfly up, and I just looked at her, and I was like, huh. I'm like, I'll put you on my shoulder. And the butterfly stayed on my shoulder for 2.5 miles as I walked back to my Jeep. And I was like, that is my grandmother telling me it's okay.
Yep.
Stay with it. That butterfly came home with me and lived on a plant, and then she passed, and she is in my gym as a reminder of every day that it does not matter what is going on in the outside world. You are meant to do what you are doing. And I think if people watching, if just know that even if you're watching this, you're on the right path. You're meant to do what you're doing, and there's going to be those struggles and doubts and fears, and that's all part of the process.
That's part of the process.
Yeah.
And you know, and I think people have to be agile. You have to be able to make change. You can't be stuck in. I think that people that do end up failing is they stuck in their ways. Oh, we always did it that way. Oh, that's the way we do it. Or, you know, I'm not going to get involved with it. I don't need a website. I don't need technology. And then, you know, people then, you know, leap ahead of them, and that's where failure happens. Or they don't want to move with, you know, in the needs of the employees, and you know, you got to stay relevant, and you got to stay on this, because otherwise, I think that's how people end up falling behind.
I agree, and you have to take bold action. If it's scary, you got to do it.
Agree.
You have to do it. If it's uncomfortable, that means you're on your way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got to be. You have to be uncomfortable. You have to be comfortable. You got to be uncomfortable to kind of grow. If you stay in that comfort zone where it's just easy, go back to the 9 to 5 and you're done at 5 o'clock, and you could do a lot of other things.
Yeah, not the entrepreneur though.
Not the entrepreneur. Crazy. Backed by science.
Backed by science.
So this was a great conversation. I'm so glad you came in. Lisa, shout out to Lisa,
thank you, Lisa.
And John for referring. Let people know where they can find you online, where the book is going to be, your social medias, whatever you want people to know about.
So it's they can always go to jennifervinges.com. That is where you can reserve a book there. You can get on my email list, and Jennifer Vinges everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. Reach out to me. I'm here to help make change one habit at a time.
Awesome. This was a great conversation today.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You inspired me today.
Oh, good.